Durotoye, both professors at the University of Ibadan. After his parents moved to University of Ife, he attended the Staff Children's School 1974 to 1981 and graduated to Moremi High School. He proceeded to earn his Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science and Economics, as well as a Master's degree in Business Administration, MBA, at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. He is an alumnus of John F. Kennedy School of Government, Executive Education Program of Harvard University. Ladies and gentlemen, with an upgrade 2018, please welcome with me, Fela Durotoye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Can you please just help me? Look, that shout, that applause was just me. So you're going to have to help me find a way to thank somebody that is right beside you and just give them a hug, give them a high five, whichever one you are able to do. Whatever you're comfortable with, right? And then before you guys sit, please, can we find a way to be able to release a shout for the visionary of this platform, Upgrade, Pastor Akikpalu, right? And how many people here have just enjoyed today? No, let me hear your shout if you can. All right, fantastic. Okay, so guys, let me please ask you to sit down. Apparently today I'm in lecture mode. I know many of you know me in some dimension of inspirational. I hear some people say transformational. Some people say motivational. Some people even say, these days, they say revolutionary. It's a revolutionary speaker, right? But today I really want to speak to your mind, maybe even more than your heart. Typically, when I speak, I can either be speaking to your heart or to your mind. Today, I want to, add to what it is that many of the great speakers before me and those who have come behind me or who will be coming after me are going to do. Now, let's be clear about something. Why is it important that we upgrade our minds? Because the mentality required to solve a problem must be greater or of a superior level to the mentality that created the problem. You cannot have the same mindset that produced a problem and use that same mindset to solve it. And one of the things I always say is that anyone who does not think it's strange for light or power to go out, in other words, you find somebody who's having a conversation and light goes off and they do not even stop. They are not shocked that light went out. They are just continuing their gist. They can never solve the power problem. Because whatever you permit persists. And your mind will not reject a problem as long as your mentality is still at the same level of what created that problem. Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? So part of the point, or part of what I'm hoping that will come out of this, and I know this is what is really deep in the heart of the visionary, is that we must upgrade our mindset to the level where some things that we have considered okay, some things that we have considered acceptable, all of a sudden become repulsive to us. And you say, no, how can? How can? If it is not done that way all over the world, why is it Nigeria that must be different? Does somebody understand what I'm saying? Tell somebody, I'm here to upgrade my mind. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And I love the fact that the Inspire girls are here. Because the mindset required for the next generation to start must be the level that we will hand over the baton to them. And we cannot hand over the baton to them at the same level of mindset that we received the baton from our parents. Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? So I'm really proud of you, ladies. God bless you. Would you please stand for recognition? These are the next generation leaders. Come on, let's give them a shout. So I go into training mode now. And remember, training mode is sometimes not as exciting as inspirational mode. All right? So you will need to write and you will need to store. Please feel free to take pictures of the slides. I've got almost 200 slides that I'm going to show you in just about 30, a little bit plus minutes. All right? But this is thinking. By the time you are done, I hope your head will feel heavy. All right? So let's start something that I really want to challenge you with. Number one, which is, I told you why we're here. We're here to upgrade our minds, right? And I want to show you something about what I consider to be very important with the way we upgrade our mind. What do you see, guys? No. Can we do this together as like an upgrade team? So when I say 1, 2, 3, go, we will shout together, and they will think that there are more people in this room than the number of people that are here. Are you able to do that? Okay. So 1, 2, 3, go. I told you we are here to upgrade. What's the lesson? Who's going to share? I just need 3 people who can tell me what's the lesson that we just got here. What's the lesson? So you want to go for it? Who wants to go first? You want to try? What's the lesson?
Not everything is as you see it.
Not everything is as it seems or as you see it. All right? Let me go here. Let me try the lady. Yeah?
Never assume.
Never assume. But is it possible for us to walk without assumption? It's not possible. And we will have to still accept things sometimes the way we see them. Because we don't know. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So one more person. Now let me say this. Every one of them is right. Things are not always the way they seem. Right? We've seen situations where people were presumed to have a particular level of character, and when given the opportunity, you find out that it didn't turn out to be so. Right? That happens a lot of times. Ladies know this a lot about guys, don't you? That when the guy is toasting and when he's post-toasting, sometimes there's a difference, isn't it? You understand what I'm trying to say? And so things are not always the way they seem, but let me just take the last one.
Okay, don't dwell totally on your assumptions.
Don't dwell totally or don't judge totally on your assumptions. And this is very important. Let me say one last one is that the reason why I presume you said science was because many of you had recognized certain patterns before. And you had predicted the future based on the patterns of the past. You had said to yourself, I've seen this thing before, isn't it? And so based on your experience, you made certain projections. Unfortunately, in the time of change, experience loses its value. And experience bows to expertise. Which is why sometimes, you ask yourself, what has experience brought you so far? And I know a lot of times people say things like, we need people that have, or what experience do these new people have? Anybody heard about that political experience thing? And then the first question you always ask is, okay, hold on. If you like the roads and the potholes that dot it, and many times the gullies, then you should thank experience for that. Experience brought you that. If you like the fact that you don't need a romantic dinner for you to bring out your candle, experience brought you that. Experience brought you generators. Experience dried up water in your taps. Experience did all of that. What you should be looking out for as it takes you into the future is not how much of the past you know, but how much of the future you can imagine. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. I'm going to say that again because it's something that someone has to get into your mind. It's not your knowledge of the past that will take you into the future. And the people who should lead at all times should be people who have a greater imagination than their memory. And that is the greatest advantage that young people have. Old people typically have a greater memory, but a smaller imagination. Younger people have a greater imagination, even though they don't have much in their memory bank yet. Do you understand what I'm saying? The future is not dependent on your memory, it's dependent on your imagination. Write it down. The future is not dependent on your memory, it's dependent on your imagination. This is why the whole concept of vision is so important. Because vision is not a reflection of your past. Vision is an image of your future. That's why young men see visions and then old men dream dreams. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Because a vision is not a picture of the past. A vision is a picture of the future. Are you feeling me here? So I'm asking you a question. What do you see here? Which direction does this man, is he looking to? Is he looking to this side, or is he looking to you at this side? Oh, thank you very much. Somebody once said to me, this is the original Two-Face. Right? But what this speaks to is something that I call perspective. Somebody say with me perspective, please. This talks to you about the power of perspective. Because listen, in life it's not about what it is, it's about how you see it. And why is it important about how you see things? Because how you see things will determine the way you respond to them. I want you to draw this understanding very quickly. Your perspective will shape your interpretation of what that thing is. And then your interpretation will influence your decision. And that is what will produce the action and the results. I'm going to say that again. I know some of you are trying to write this down. I told you I'm in lecture mode now. Should I flip out of lecture mode? I said your perspective influences your interpretation. So the way I see things will determine the way I interpret what the thing is. And my interpretation will affect my decision. Because what I interpret it to be will become what I decide about it. Does that make sense? And then my decision about it will influence my action. And that will determine the results that we have. So when I look at a glass, and that glass to me, let's say, what is this? Water in a glass. Thank you. What? Half full, half empty? Half full. Huh? Depending on my perspective. Can I help shape your perspective on this glass? Imagine if I had come in and I was very, 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 very thirsty, and I was quite tired. And to cut the long story short, as I came in sweating, someone had brought me a glass and said, "Oh, let me pour you some glass. You need some water." And then the person poured out the glass or the water in the bottle, and it got up to this level, and the water finished. And the person said to me, "Please, just give me a few minutes. I'll be back. Let me go get another bottle of water." Right? At that point in time, what is this glass? Half full. Half full. Does that make sense? Why? Because it's halfway to full, isn't it? But imagine if after the person came, they then filled the glass and said to me, "Unfortunately, we even thought we had so much more water, but this is all we have. So now the glass is full, and I have drank it up to this point." At that point in time, knowing that there's no more water, what is this glass? So do you see that we can agree when we have the same perspective? The reason why some of us were saying half full, half empty, half full, was because we had not yet come to the same place in our mind. We didn't have the same understanding, aka backstory. Once you have a backstory on a matter, it influences the way you see things. So anytime you look at a situation, try and find out what is the backstory behind this thing. What has produced it? Don't just accept the nation of Nigeria the way it is and say this was how you were born into it. There's a backstory. Dig in deeper than what it is. Your perspective is important for your results. So whenever you look at Nigeria, what do you see? Who's going first? Throw your voice. I may not be able to come to you. Whenever you hear Nigeria, what do you see? Corruption, see? Somebody said corruption. Anybody else? Insecurity. Anything else? Lawlessness. What else do you see? Underdevelopment. What else do you see? Greed. It's a
Great nation.
Say it again.
It's a great nation.
Say it loud.
It's a great nation.
Somebody say, But do you understand that that is how the next generation sees it? And if the next generation sees it that way, up to you. It's up to you guys. Let me tell you something. If your generation fails Nigeria, the next generation is ready to pick up the baton from you. I can promise you that, because I can tell you that there is a generation that may have missed it. A whole generation. In other words, that it is possible that leadership could go from 70 something all the way to 40 something because there was a 50, 60 something that just missed it. They didn't act quick enough. I don't know whether you understand where I'm coming from. Do you get what I'm saying? And if we are not careful, this thing will go from 70 something straight to 20 something. If we are not careful. If we refuse to wake up, if we refuse to fix it, if all we can see is the problem. When I look at Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I see. This picture shows me Nigeria in ways I cannot describe. It's like this amazing, incredible potential with little to show for it. Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? But when I see this, do you know? Especially when I compare it with nations that don't even have anything and then they seem to be living large. I mean, nations that don't even have any raw material. Look at Singapore. What does Singapore have? Absolutely nothing. And yet today they have more billionaires per capita than any other country in the world. What does Dubai have? Go and read My Vision, the book My Vision. He said they have only three things. The rule of Dubai, he said they have sand, they have sea, and they have sun. What does that mean? Who doesn't have sand? Who doesn't have sea? And yet look at what they've done. That's like these guys. But when I look at that, I say, listen, the world is yet to see something. Because when you look at Nigeria, and I don't know how many of you have looked at it, if you doubt me, just get your phone out and Google world map, and you will see something that will blow your mind. That if you look at where the equator is, as dividing northern hemisphere from southern hemisphere, and then you look at a line that divides the east from the west, where does it intersect? Nigeria is at the center of the world. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to motivate you. I'm not trying to inspire you. Go and open it yourself and you will see it. Which means that we can be the logistics and production capital of the world. Because anything you produce in Nigeria will get to almost any other part of the world faster and cheaper. And then we have 195 million people. Can you imagine? That's not just the largest black market in the world. That should be the largest production base that anybody can imagine. That's what I see. I see potential. And that's why when you hear me say things about Nigeria, some people think I'm insane. But the point is, listen guys, this is what our possibility speaks to us, if we can see it. I started by saying something about the fact that your mind has got to picture the future. Because this is how it works. You cannot feature in a future that you do not picture. I'm going to say it again. You cannot feature in a future that you do not picture. You got to see it. Muhammad Ali is the one who used to say it like this. He says, I float like a butterfly. I sting like a bee. He says, your hands can't hit what your eyes don't see. That's why they say, my people perish, not for lack of mineral resources, not for lack of human resources, not for lack of anything, but for lack of knowledge. And what is the greatest knowledge that you need to have? It's not the knowledge of today, because today is already a reality. It's the knowledge of the possibilities that you have not yet tapped into. It's everything you can be but have not yet become. That is what that's the kind of knowledge you need. It's everything you need to do that you have not yet done. That is the knowledge that separates you. So for me, vision is such an important thing. And what is vision? Well, I'm going to give it to you in a way. Please don't even try to write it down because I think that it may be too long. You know we're in lecture mode. Anybody still likes lecture mode? Are you sure you're still there? If you want me to flip out of it, I'll flip out, okay? All right, but a vision is a picture of a desirable outcome or destination that is so beneficial to the hearers that it compels them to embark on the journey regardless, and to stay the course regardless of how far it seems, how long it will take, or how rough the road ahead of may be. So a vision is always a picture. A vision is always a picture that people find themselves in. And vision must always be beneficial to those who hear it, not to the one who's saying it. Any vision that is only beneficial to the visionary is not called a vision, it's called an ambition. So when people say to me, Fela, I really want to support your presidential ambition, I say I have none. They say, how can you say you don't have a presidential ambition? I say, you don't understand. I'm not running for myself. I'm running for a new Nigeria. This is not an ambition. This is a vision. And it is only true vision that is able to have the benefit as it reaches all other people. And guess what? When vision is true in your heart, when it comes out, those who hear it will know. Don't vote for me if you don't want to. It's okay. Just at least vote. Get your PVC and get involved and build your nation. Can we read this together? Do you mind? 1, 2, 3, go. A vision is a picture So I'm asking a question, do you have a vision in your heart? Because ideally, a vision is what you catch that keeps you from sleep. A vision is what it is that compels you to go in a particular direction. When your destination is not clear, you don't need direction, you need revelation. Because every time you get to a junction and you ask people, should I turn left or turn right? The first question they will ask you is, where are you going? Where are you going? If you don't know where you are going, you are taking a stroll in life. You are not taking a journey. As a nation, where are we going? As a person, where are you going? You are working in an organization. Where is that organization going? You're studying a course to do what? Somebody once came to ask me a question. Oh, FD, please, I'm trying to figure out which master's degree program I should go for. Should I do an MSc or do an MBA? I said, what do you want to be? He said, I really haven't thought about it yet. But my parents want me to do a master's. I said, that's a peradventure, misadventure. Isn't that how many people got into uni? Does anybody get? Because we were just told, you know what? Just go. Just leave the house. Just leave the house. So that they say, which course does he want to study? He said, any course. Abi? Any course in what kind of university? Any university. Okay, so when you study any course in any university, what kind of grades do you get? Then you get what kind of class? So now you have graduated with any class from any course in any university. What kind of job do you get? In what kind of industry? So you become what kind of person? You can't afford to be an anybody. You were created to be a somebody. Do you understand what I'm saying? But your vision is what defines who you are. You can't wake up in the morning and leave your house to just go to a job. You must see, where am I going? Life is time and time is life. The word lifetime is the most descriptive word of itself. Which means if you waste your time, you are committing suicide. If you waste another person's time, you are committing murder. Do you understand what I'm saying? Every decision you take in life must be taking you one step closer to your vision. Every decision. Should I or should I not? Where is it going to take me? You don't get to a junction and choose which path you are going to walk on based on how smooth the road seems around the junction. You choose which path to go on based on where that path is leading. Ask the person next to you, where are you going? So I'm going to throw you a challenge, guys. Do you mind if I just throw you this challenge? By December 31, 2025, who will you be? By December 31, 2025, what will you have done? And most importantly, what will you be reputed for doing? If you are going to be the best at anything in life by 2025, what will it be? Listen, it's not about what you're currently doing. It's about what it is that you are carrying the gift for. There is a gift that is inside of you that is supposed to be solving a problem better than anybody else can. And if you are to solve the problem you were created to solve, we will have a most desirable nation to live in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Young ladies, please, I beg of you, I'm begging you. Do you want me to kneel down for you? Is it okay? I'm serious. Please, I'm begging you. Don't go and study any course. Find out what you were created to do in life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Too many of us have missed it. I studied computer science with economics. And I came out with a 2-2. I'm not a genius, I'm not a dunce. But my mother believes I'm a genius because she knows that I missed every class. I had no passion for it. They gave me a wrong degree. BSc computer science. They should have given me a CPF. Cram, pass, forget. Do you understand? Many of the young ladies, many of the people are laughing, they are like me. They too, they just went in, sir, and came out, sir. Do you understand what I'm saying? But that must not happen to the next generation. The next generation must go through schools that prepare them for leadership in life. That is what must happen. We're not talking about certificates, we're talking about sabiticates. What? Wait till you sabi. You understand what I'm saying? Can I get back to lecture mode? So understand that there's a difference between goals and vision. And sometimes people have goals, but they don't have real vision. And some of you know some of the acronyms about goals, isn't it? Goals need to be SMART, isn't it? Can anybody remind me what SMART means? Let's go. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound. Please, can you give somebody around you, just give them a round of applause. Yeah? But that is goals. Goals truly need to be specific. You can't just say this year, I want to hammer. Eh? I want to blow. Sorry, even me, I'm using version 2.0. Right? Do you understand? What does blow mean? How much is blow? How do you know how close you are to blowing? You understand what I'm saying? But when your goals are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, it means you can measure how far you have come and how much further you have to go. It's the only reason why you are able to endure a journey, because they have all these things they call them milestones on the road. And the idea is to help you know, hey, Ibadan, 75 kilometers ahead. Then after some time, Ibadan, 50 kilometers ahead. If you didn't see milestones, you will not be able to take the journey. There's a point at which you will say to yourself, look, you know what? I'm going to turn back. And many times it's going to be just at the outskirts of Ibadan that you turn back and say, I will never get there. What your milestones do is to constantly tell you how close you are to where you're going. So I'm asking you, what is your goal for this year? What is the thing you are measuring? This is what you have to upgrade to. But let me quickly say to you that a compelling vision is different from a goal. Because a compelling vision also must be smart. But this time, smart stands for something slightly different. Compelling vision must be significant. Meaning it must have a way to impact many lives. Compelling vision must be meaningful. Meaning that when people hear what your vision is, it means something to them. Also, compelling vision must be attractive. And it must be something that has not been done before. It must be record-setting. Lastly, compelling vision must be treasured. Meaning that a vision is a real vision when if you don't accomplish it, it will pain you. And the joy of accomplishing it is so fulfilling. So let me put it in a way that I hope you would like to write it down. Real vision is not a nice to have, it's a need to have. Are we still good in lecture mode? Yes, sir. What is the thing that you cannot afford not to do? That is what you're supposed to spend your life on. You are not supposed to spend your life on something you want to do. You are supposed to spend your life on something you cannot afford not to do. If you walk away from what you are pursuing and the thing does not pull you back, that's not what you are supposed to be doing. The pain of leaving what you should be doing should be greater than the pain of doing it. I'm going to say that again. Somebody got it. The pain of leaving what you are meant to do, what you are created to do, the pain of leaving it should be greater than the pain of doing it. So I'm asking you a question. Please, if you can, write the question just in case you don't have the answer. If you were guaranteed success in life, what would you attempt to do? If you were guaranteed success about anything, what would you attempt to do? In part, the journey that I'm on today was because that question came to me. If I was sure that I had all the resources, that I had everything it took to succeed, what would I try to do? And I'm asking you the same question. Because this is what creates what I call a desire for change. Listen, you know, when you have vision, everyone is trying to make it come to pass, regardless of where they are. This is what is called convergent progression. And then, I know you guys are getting hungry. Should I quickly just finish this thing and let's go? But whenever you don't have any vision, people are moving forward in different directions. That is called what? Say it again. And you know the way Chino Achebe describes this, he says, when the center cannot hold, what happens? So my first most important question to you today is, what is the vision for Nigeria? And if you don't know what the vision for Nigeria is, maybe that's why everybody is walking in different directions. But by the 29th of May, you will know the vision for Nigeria. And not only are you going to know the vision for Nigeria, you will know the roadmap to accomplishing it. That is a promise. By the 29th of May, over 120 million people on one day will get the vision for Nigeria on their phones, in the language that they understand. Because only when we have a vision can we have a collective. To collect something means to gather into one place. We need to have one mind. So what is the Nigeria we want? Well, let me start by saying that on the 23rd of November 2004, a mandate came to me, and it was to build Nigeria into the most desirable nation to live in by December 31, 2025. And when you think about 2025, building a most desirable nation, we're really just talking about a nation that people love to live in, a nation that people would love to work in, a nation that people would love to play, and more importantly, a nation that people would love to visit. And if you've got a nation that everybody loves, and as I'm speaking, I'm sure some of you are thinking of certain nations already. You know that there are some places that people are literally crossing Libya, collecting. Did you know that some people are raising 750,000? Some people 2 million to go across the Mediterranean Sea to be able to get to some other point where they believe this is the right place to live. Does anybody understand what I'm trying to say? These same people that their family members will not give them money to start a business, yet they are giving them money to run away from Nigeria. Why? Because, let me help you understand it. Many of the times, what vision does is to create an image that produces hope in your heart. I'm going to say that again. Vision creates an image that produces hope in your heart. Let me tell you what hope is. Hope is what funds the down payment for the sacrifice required to accomplish vision. Okay, maybe I have to do it again. Sorry. Are you sure? I'm in lecture mode. Maybe that's why. Should I come out of it? Hope is what funds the down payment required to pay the sacrifice that will fund your vision. So when you have hope in your heart, you are willing to take what you have today, put it down, so that that thing produces what is required for your vision. So hope produces in someone the ability to go and raise 750,000 naira. Whereas when that person was looking at Nigeria, they didn't see any vision, so they had no hope. Therefore, they could not go and raise that same money to start a business in Nigeria. Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? What hope has done is to give that person the passion, the conviction, the capacity to be able to say, if I can only get to the other side, things will be all right. It is hope that investors look for. You can write a business plan, but if you go and present it, all they are listening to is your hope. Why? Because your hope is your belief. Your hope is what it is that gives you faith. Your faith is the substance of what you are hoping for. So when I look at you, I would say, do you really believe in this thing, this vision you are carrying in your heart? Because if you don't believe in it, you cannot produce hope in me. If you don't produce hope in me, I cannot fund the things that are required to make that vision come to pass. So I know somebody here just got that thing. There's somebody here who's been wondering, why is nobody trying to fund my business? Is that you have a vision, but it has not yet produced hope. Or maybe you have not yet learned how to communicate hope. So when you have a nation people love to live in, work in, play in, and visit, then you will have a nation that people want to invest in. Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? So let's move faster. This is what it is that is the image. I've been right, and so many of you already know this if you've been working with me for the last 14 years. Many of you know this vision. Been carrying this since 2005. It's not something we are trying to do now. This image was developed in 2005. It's not a political image. It's not something for a campaign. And basically what we are saying is that the 6 continents of the world will be coming to Nigeria one day. And then, children that have left the 6 geopolitical zones will come back home one day. Not because anybody is going to push them out, but because we're going to attract them home. Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? You can clap for it if you want to. Now, the only challenge, guys, is I don't know whether you've counted the days. Because Wednesday is, or rather, December 31, 2025 is a Wednesday. And I've been counting the days for much of the last 10, 14 years. And as we speak today, December 31, 2025, is 7 years, 7 months, and 26 days to go. Question is, how do you build a most desirable nation to live in 7 years, 7 months, and 26 days? Well, I agree if you think it's probably impossible, but let me first of all start by saying that it is definitely impossible for you to build a most desirable nation to live in without building a most desirable people to live with. That until you have the most desirable people to live with, you cannot have the most desirable nation to live in. Until you have the most desirable people to work with, you cannot have the most desirable nation to work in. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the real job is, how do you build the people that will build the nation in 7 years, 7 months, and 26 days? So this is really the kind of thing Bill Gates was talking about. This is all about human capacity development. That if you build the people will build the nation. Don't just build buildings. Don't just build bridges. Don't just build roads. Anybody, I was going to say any fool, but I know they can go and treat it in another way. Anybody can give a contract. Why are we clapping for a governor for doing road? He is not even a civil engineer. All you have to do is to say, approved. How is that a skill? Approving a contract is not a skill. I don't know whether you understand where I'm coming from. Or you come all the way to come and commission a bus terminal. How? And not just any bus terminal, a bus terminal without buses. Sorry, a bus stop. Tell somebody we must upgrade, Joe. Your children deserve a better nation than the one you are living in. And if you don't choose to build that nation whilst you are young and strong, you will get into retirement and then you will be old and weak and you will not be able to do anything about it. Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? So let me hear somebody say, I'm young. I'm strong. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is my time. There's a reason why our laws say that people should retire at the age of 60 from public service. Let's leave story. Let's go. Somebody please shout again, upgrade. I said shout now. We must upgrade our mindset, guys. We must upgrade our mindset. We have to build the people who will be able to build. Now understand, we've been told, as a man thinks in his heart. So you want to change a person, you change their mentality. You change their mindset. And the thing that drives your mindset is something that I call PVC. And many of you are already thinking that Fela is talking about election again. No, I'm not talking about your permanent voter's card. I'm talking about your personal value code. Your personal value code is the thing that I call your operating system. It is your personal value code that begins to help you understand, whenever choices or options are in front of you, which one to choose. Because your personal value code defines for you what is right and what is wrong. What is good and what is bad. What is possible and what is impossible. And it is not everything that is beneficial that is expedient. That means the fact that you get benefit from it today does not mean that it's good for you tomorrow. Does anybody understand? So your personal value code is what helps you to take decisions. Do you know why sometimes couples have problems? Because they have two different PVCs. So what is important to the husband is not really a big deal to the wife. And sometimes what is important to the wife is like, what's the matter now with the husband? Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? The wife says, I must not get late to work. The husband is the one that owns his own business. So anytime he gets there, it's okay. But they are sharing a car. So now the husband is taking his time. And the wife is getting angry. I have to get to the office. Say, cool down. What's the big deal? Husband, they can't sack you. Say, it's not about sacking. I don't like it when I get late to till late party. What you do? I said, to chill. Now, all of a sudden, because of that one thing, they are not going to talk on the way to the office. And that thing is still angry and saying, listen, this thing, and I've been telling you. And on top of that, for whatever the reason, let her now arrive at work. And then somebody now speaks to her in a way, and she will say, and I knew. I hate it when this man, and before you know it, a little thing that is just a value differential between them becomes a big deal. Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? Ladies, let me hear you say, yeah. Don't marry a man for his vision, no. Marry him for his values. Sorry, don't marry a man for his television. Marry him for his vision and his values. His vision will tell you where he's taking you. His values will tell you the experience on the journey. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Guys, let me say yeah. Don't go and start be complaining about things. Oh. Complaining about anything does not inspire a woman. Don't go and just say, I don't even know what's the traffic in this Lagos. Women don't want to hear about traffic in Lagos. They want to hear about, where are you taking me? Where are we going? Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? Let me move forward. The most important thing about your vision is that your values, are the things that define for you what is possible and what is impossible. It's really my way or no way. Let me go run through something. Guys, many times people have told me that this is the most important slide I have ever shown them. And I'm talking about most top people in their industry. Let me help you understand what values do. Your values usually help you to define what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. So your values help you in decision making. And those decisions will soon become your actions. And those actions, after some time, they will become your habits. And your habits, after some time, will soon become your lifestyle. And your lifestyle actually will begin to affect the way people around you behave. So it becomes a culture. And that is what produces results. I want you to understand that. And then your culture, after some time, will become the reputation people have of you because they've seen the results again and again and again. And your results or your reputation will soon become a brand. And your brand is what becomes your value. In other words, this is what people pay to associate with you. So let me quickly say something to you whilst you are still here. Two people sitting together on parade ground in NYC, both of them having BSc in the same course, whether from the same campus or the same or different universities, doesn't matter. But they are both youth corpers, but they are not mates. How do I know? Because in 5 years' time, one of them will be earning more than another, even if they study the same course. Why? Because in the end, the values of one will produce a particular value, and the values of the other will produce another value. Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? Sorry, are you sure that you are still here? I'm going to close this in a very few minutes. So I need all of your attention. Your values will soon become the value you are carrying in your pocket. The values in your heart. Your values will determine the quality of your marriage. Your values will determine the quality of your organization. And I can promise you, the values of a nation will soon determine the size of the economy of that nation. The challenge is, when you have over 500 different languages in a nation, when you have over 240 minor tribes in a nation, how then do you unite a nation around one value system? Means you must find values that are what I call ABCD. A, they must be acceptable to everybody, regardless of their religion, regardless of their tribe, regardless of their language, regardless of their gender. Those values must be acceptable to everyone. Now, next, they must be beneficial to everyone who has them. In other words, you don't force people to take on a particular value system. It will not last. It is not sustainable. The only value that people can take on and keep in them is values that help them become better, help them live better. And then those values must also, see me, be something that people can commit to. And lastly, it must be something that people can do. So when you say, for instance, excellence is a value, sometimes the challenge that people have is, what is excellence? If somebody sometimes says hard work is a value, is hard work good? How hard must work be for it to be hard work? Is the guy that is pushing a cart and sweating, is he working harder than the guy that is sitting down in a machine and operating a computer? Who is working harder? Sometimes those things are hard to measure. So that's why you need to have a system that helps you to define your values, articulate your values, and then if you want to then get it right, you then get people to begin to endorse those values, meaning to accept it for themselves. And then, of course, now we need to get those values illustrated. You have to put those values in images, in songs. They're called sight and sound. You need to have billboards all over the place that depicts those values. You need to have radio jingles. You need to have movies. You need to have those values on different kinds of things. So now you have to interpret those values so that the values mean the same thing in Hausa as it is in Ibibio. Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? In Ishekiri, you have to interpret those same values. And then you have to interpret that same values in Kanuri. Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? That's how you are going to unite a nation. It's the same values that are acceptable to all of them in their own language. And then you have to find a way to start integrating. Meaning you must put the values on teacups. You must put the values on calendars. You must put the values on t-shirts. You must put the values on bumper stickers. You must put the values on billboards. And it's possible that one organization can sponsor one billboard, and the same billboard can be sponsored by another organization somewhere else. But the idea is that when you have done the right thing in getting your values into the heart of the people, wherever they look within 360 degrees of their eye view, they will see something that reminds them of the values. As you are coming out of the plane, those tunnels that bring you out must have the values on them. When you land and they say, welcome to Nigeria, this is a nation where, bam, 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 our values are there. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the 10 new Nigeria values that I am proposing to you on May 29. I'm giving you expo now. You just tell me whether you like them or you don't like them. And the only way for you to decide whether you like them or you don't like them is I want you to ask yourself, do I want other people to behave like this? Do I want my children to behave like this? Whether you are married or not, do I want my spouse to behave like that? All right? So let's go. Number one. Let's go. The first value that Nigeria will have, and when people ask, who is a Nigerian? We will say a Nigerian is someone who makes a positive impact on everyone they meet and everywhere they go. How many of you would like your children to make a positive impact everywhere they go? Meaning that everywhere your children go, they will make the place better. everyone your children meets, they will make that person better. I don't know whether you understand where I'm coming from. Now, just to be sure, how many of you want this value? Okay, I'm seeing a few people don't really care about it. Is anybody? Okay. So wait, do you realize that we are all from different places? And yet we are all agreeing on the same one thing. I presume that there may be people of different faiths even in this room. And yet we are all agreeing. That means we now have a that will help us all to agree as one people. On everyone I meet and everywhere I go. Number 2, I will be a solution provider and not a part of the problem to be solved. How many of you like that? Would you like every Nigerian to always be looking for how to solve problems, not create problems? Can you imagine what will happen when you go on the road and people are like that? Imagine what will happen when you go and you are trying to apply for your passport and every single person you meet is trying to solve a problem, not create one. Imagine if everyone on the road was driving in a way that solves problem, not creates problem. How many of you would like that? Now that means that if I were to take a used up tissue paper and I throw it on the floor, have I created a problem or solved the problem? So somebody will call me and say, sorry, that's not Nigerian behavior. In Nigeria, we don't do that. But if you don't define the values, we don't know what to hold each other accountable to. If I use the toilet and I don't flush, have I created a problem or solved it? In Nigeria, you will not see any smelling toilet again. Not soon. It's very just stay alive. Stay alive. Do you understand? But then number 3, I will be a role model worthy of emulation. Imagine if every Nigerian was trying to be the role model Nigerian that all other Nigerians can be. If every Nigerian spoke about Nigerian in a way that all other Nigerians should speak about that person. If every Nigerian student arrived at lecture hall at the time that all other students will arrive. My question is, if you were that person, will your lecturer meet anybody based on the time you arrive? Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? Sorry, am I losing you? So somebody say with me, I will be a role model worthy of emulation. Number 4, would you like every Nigerian to be their best in what they do, particularly what they're naturally good at? That's why we find people that were supposed to be in water corporation going to work in PHCN. And their natural gifting is water. So they are pouring water on transformer. And the people who are supposed to be in PHCN are working in telecoms. So now subscriber is not available. I don't know whether you understand. When we don't all find what we are naturally gifted at, everybody will be misplaced and we will displace the capacities that we have. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Somebody say, I will be my best in all I do, particularly what I'm naturally good at. Number 5, I will do the right thing at all times, regardless of who is doing the wrong thing. And I'll just run through the rest of it. Number 6, I will value time and make the best use of it. Very soon, when they ask somebody, I want you to, can we meet at 4 o'clock? Then they will ask you, are you talking about 4 o'clock Nigerian time? If you say yes, they say that means you are serious. When you travel abroad and you come late for a meeting, somebody will ask you, I thought you said you're a Nigerian. He said, yes, I am. He said, no, you can't be. Nigerians are never late for meeting. Nigerians don't come late. How many of you would like that? And then number 7, I'll care and show respect through my words and my actions. You know what it means to care? To be concerned about the well-being of a thing, a place, or a person. And to show respect means to bestow honor on that person. Imagine if Nigerians were the ones that cared the most. We won't be buying cars that are 10-year-old cars and celebrating, and 10 months later we can't sell the car for half the value. Today, people are buying Tokumbo cars and the car is still almost brand new. When somebody used that car for 10 years, 10 months later, left fender, right body, scratch. When you come inside the car, you will think that you are in Alpha Beach because of sand that is already inside the car. The car cannot be sold for 1/10 of the value again. Listen to me, people. I beg of you. We must care for people and use things to care for them, not care for things and use people to care for them. Number 8, you must consciously build a great legacy starting now today and every day. I'm looking forward to the day where the value of life is going to be so precious that if one person dies, there's almost going to be lowering of a mast. Like, people will be so sad. Like we see it in other countries. Not that thousands of people will die and there's almost nothing that anybody is saying about it. People are seeing dead people on the road and they are just walking by and going. They have desensitized us. We must consciously build a great legacy starting now, today, and every day. And then we must live lives of integrity and honor. Integrity means to have an alignment between your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Meaning that everything that comes out of your mouth is what you mean. And everything that you have said is what you intend to do. Not that you will be in the bathroom and then you'll be telling somebody, I'm on my way. But what if you tell somebody, I'm going to slap you, and then you slap the person? Is that not integrity? So it may be integrity, but it also has to have honor in it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does somebody understand what I'm saying? Is it possible? Do you understand that people with integrity will not collect something that they will deny they collected? And they will not give something that they hope that nobody discovers they gave. Somebody who has integrity will not come and tell somebody something about somebody else that they hope they will not go and tell them. Because integrity bestows no burden of secrecy on another. People with integrity don't have skeletons in their cupboard. In fact, they have no cupboard. They are transparent. Wouldn't you like a point where Nigerians, if they say to you, I'm bringing it back tomorrow, you can guarantee they will do it? Do you know that there is no economy in the world that grows without credit? And there's nobody that can give credit where there's no trust. And there's no way you can trust somebody without integrity. So integrity inspires trust. Trust produces credibility. Credibility is what inspires credit. And credit is what grows the economy. So in the end, integrity is the currency of your economy. The reason why Nigeria's economy is as poor as it is that the people need to demonstrate more integrity. I know that some people would like to write it in a way. That's why I turned it. You know what I'm saying? We need integrity. Tell somebody we need integrity. Especially in leadership. We need promise keepers. We need people who will make campaign promises and keep them. And if you can't keep them, resign. And then lastly, we need somebody who will make your family, your nation, and your God proud. How many people here would like to make their family, their nation, and their God proud? Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think will happen to a nation if these 10 values became the psyche of Nigerians? Can anybody please tell me? I just need 3 people who will tell me what will happen to a nation like this. When everybody in government, in private sector, everybody in school, in academia, doctors, nurses, all of them are living according to the same 10 values. When husbands and wives, children, older people, can you tell me what's going to happen to this nation? Positively, synchronized result, unified vision. Sir, you were going to say something. A positive transformation. There will be order. Rapid development. Ladies and gentlemen, do you agree that this will be one of the nations that people would like to do business with? Yes. Do you agree that people would like to come and live here? Yes. Do you agree that people would like to come and work here? Yes. So can we become the most desirable nation to live in? Yes. It's a good place to come. So, give me only 5 minutes of your time. Only. Because I want to show you that it is possible. And the only thing I want to do is I want you to understand the way we're going to drive this thing is through driving it into families, driving it through education, driving it through religious bodies, driving it through the social institutions, corporate organizations, into regulatory authorities, and most importantly, into government. And I know that many people can wonder and say, hey, Fela, are you sure that this thing can happen? So, Simi, can you help me please go and show some of the nations that have done amazing things with this? Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Show me Dubai. I want you to see something. I want you to see something before I close. 4 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, pay focused attention. I want you to look at this building. This building is the World Trade Center, used to be the World Trade Center in Dubai, 38-story buildings high. This was in 1990. I want you to see what human beings that have made up their minds and have the right people in government, what they were able to produce in 13 years. Somebody say with me, transform. That is the same building that you were seeing before, 13 years later. In other words, all of these things was done in just 13 years. So if you, now remember that these people have only sun, sand, and sea. They don't have oil. They don't have any of the 34 mineral resources that Nigeria has. They don't have cocoa. They don't have any of those things. They don't have them. All they do is they have sun, sand, and sea, and a vision. All right? If you want to compare just 13 years, look at it. That's that building. This is it. Let me move on faster. Look at what their international airport used to look like before in Dubai. Does anybody want to know what it looks like now? Somebody say upgrade. Now, you have to remember, what they had here was sun, sand, and sea. What they have here is also sun, sand, and sea. They have only upgraded their mind. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. Listen, this was what their immigration used to look like. And this is what their customs used to look like then. Until they upgraded. Somebody say upgrade. This. They don't have any mineral resources. They only upgraded their mind. Are you there? This is how they used to approach planes in those days. Do you know anywhere that people still do this kind of thing in the world? Sorry. Somebody say upgrade. By 2020, Dubai Airport will be the largest airport in the world with sun, sand. Look at this building. Can you see Toyota? Look at it here. And this is only 21 years apart. Let me show you. This is the Al Maktoum Bridge. This bridge leads to their port. In 1989, it was 1 lane going, 1 lane coming. In 2010, it was 6 lanes going, 6 lanes coming. With sun, sand, and sea. They took a picture from this exact spot. They came back a little while later and took the same picture. Look at it. This is the same water. It's not another water. Upgrade. I recommend the book called My Vision to every single person. It's the best leadership book I've ever read. It is not worthy of pursuit. Can you hear me? That is the mindset that produced everything that you saw. A nearly impossible mentality is the only thing that is worthy of pursuit. So I'm asking you a question as I close. What is it that you are pursuing that everybody thinks is impossible? Because if everybody doesn't think what you are doing is impossible, it's not worthy of your time. Does somebody understand where I'm coming from? This is how these guys built things. They built 40 blocks of 54-story buildings in 8 months and completed the 40th block 3 days after they completed the first one. Meaning they were building 40 blocks of buildings 54 stories high. They built it out of the ground in 8 months. At the same time, look at it. As they were building, they were painting. As they have not even finished building, they have already laid second coat. In Dubai, they have continuous working. 3 shifts daily. 6-hour shifts. You must, as you are finishing, you are handing over the tools to somebody else. They work night and day. 7 days a week, 6 days a week except Friday. In Nigeria, we are blessed to have Muslims and Christians, which means if Muslims are even given Friday off and Christians are given Sunday off, then Christians can work on Friday, Muslims can work on Sunday. Meaning we can work round the clock. That means everybody can be employed. We will not allow a contract to be given to anybody that one day, 1 minute, 1 hour, you will down tools. Otherwise, we will collect the contract back and you will refund the amount that you have spent it. They built an estate in the middle of the water. 3 estates that can be seen from the moon. At least from space, from space. Right? This middle one is the one I'm about to show you now. It's called the Palm Jumeirah. They sandfilled it. Look at it. That's what they did. And just in case you don't know what they're doing, look at when they were working on it. Can you see houses? So each house has a beach. They built a hotels that was the quality of the hotel was too high to be classified 5-star hotel. And so they had to label it a 7-star hotel. The international guys that come to rate it called it a 7-star hotel, and there has still not been a 6-star hotel since then. With sun, sand. Look at what they've done. They built another estate called the World. All the property on it are islands. So the only way you can access your house is by boat or by helicopter. Before they finished building, they had sold every plot. Each one of them cost 7 million as at before they started building. But if you bought it after they finished building, you pay $49 million. Rod Stewart, Madonna, because they called each one of these pieces by the name of a country. Sorry, Nigeria is not one of them. No, it's true. It's not. Unfortunately. Yet, see, they sandfilled it. Now, the last thing that they've done is they've now built something that they we will commission by 2020. It's called the rotating skyscraper. Some of you have heard about it. And the ideology is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know that the earth is spinning as we are in it now? They say if it is possible for the earth to spin and the people who are in it do not know that it is spinning, then it is possible for you to be in a house and the house is turning around and you will not know. So imagine that one day you are in a place, when you look out, you are looking at VI in about Thursday or Friday. By the time you are looking at another side. But guess what, guys? This is the mind of those who believe that nothing is impossible if you can dream it. And so I have come to the end of my message to you today. Let me be clear. Nigeria's greatness is not tied to Fela Durotoye being a great leader. Nigeria's greatness is tied to each and every one of us being a great leader. Nigeria will be considered the most amazing story in the world if each and every one of us can do the most impossible thing. You have something that is impossible. Do it. You have something that is impossible. Pursue it. Let each and every one of us pursue our unbelievable dreams. And let us do something that would make the lives of other people better. And before you know it, our nation will be the greatest nation on earth. But we must make a positive impact on everyone we meet and everywhere we go. We must be solution providers and not parts of the problem to be solved. We must be role models worthy of emulation. We must be our best in all we do, particularly the things we are naturally good at. We must do the right thing at all times, regardless of who is doing the wrong thing. We must value time and make the best use of it. We must care and show respect to all through our words and our action. We must consciously build a great legacy, a great nation. Every day. Every day. We must live lives of integrity and honor. And we must make our family, our nation, and our God proud. Somebody wants that? Do you want that? Do you want that? Say with me, I will make a positive impact on everyone I meet and everywhere I go. Say it with me, I will be a solution provider and not a part of the problem to be solved. Say it again, I will be a role model worthy of emulation. I like the way you are doing it, my dear. Put your hands on that chest. That's what she's doing. I will be my best in all I do, particularly the things I'm naturally good at. Say with me, I will do the right thing at all times, regardless of who is doing the wrong thing. Say with me, I will value time and make the best use of it. Say it with me, I will care and show respect to all, rich or poor, young or old, great or small, man or woman, boy or girl. I will care and show respect through my words and my actions. I will consciously build a great legacy, a great nation, a great institution, starting now, today, and every day. Say with me, I will live a life of integrity and honor. And I will make my family, my nation, and my God proud. Would you say, so help me God? You are the new Nigerian, and you will build Nigeria into the most desirable nation to live in. And all I can say now is God bless you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Wow. All right. Please don't go. Don, if you can sit, try. Wow. Look at your neighbor, say that was wow. No. Look at your neighbor that you are tolerating, say that was wow. Find somebody you don't like at all and just communicate and say, that was wow. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. That's incredible. One more time, let's celebrate Fela Durotoye. We honor, respect, and appreciate you greatly. We believe in the new Nigeria dream. We believe in it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Do you have questions? You will need to go back and think and think and think and think. Wow. Wow. Can you please come on stage, sir? Thank you. Help me bring FD. Yes, sir. I am a product of Fela Durotoye. And I boldly say it anywhere. I'm a pastor, but Fela Durotoye is my father. For like 14 years, following him, listening to him. These things that he said today, 14 years ago, it wasn't because he was running for he was going to get an office, of which he's not running for an office. He's running for a new Nigeria. 10 years ago, 8 years ago, the same passion with which he's speaking was what he was speaking with then. Bishop Oyedepo says that I am not surprised at where I am. He says, I would have been surprised if I am not where I am. That's the power of vision. I'm not surprised at what God is about to do through Fela Durotoye. Because we have heard and we have seen these things transform and evolve over the years. So Fela Durotoye, I want to say thank you, sir, for being a tremendous blessing. We are talking about the next election, but I'm talking about the whole generation. For being a blessing to a whole generation. I know that history will never forget all the sacrifices that you are making, popular and unpopular, to see that the mandate of Nigeria is fulfilled. On behalf of this generation, we want to say thank you. There are a lot of young people who can say greater things about him. But this is coming from our heart. Upgrade team. We'll carry your heart in this generation. And we are very proud to be associated with you. There is a little thing that we have for you, sir. You've gotten a lot of awards. A lot, tens and hundreds of it. This one, we're presenting, we don't want you to put it at the back. We want you to put it, there's a generation that believes in you. And there's a generation that is excited about what is about to evolve through you. We call it the Leadership Award in recognition of your exemplary contribution to enterprise and national development. On behalf of the Upgrade team, I want to say thank you for gracing Upgrade Africa for the year 2018. And next year, Upgrade is going to be a better story. Thank you.
Kind words. nothing would please me more than for this time next year for me to hear that you have started a business, that you have taken your business to another level, that you're doing something that is transforming lives, and that much of what you're doing in 1 year you got from this conference this year. So I'm praying that the upgrading of your mind would have produced a better society for Nigeria. And I'm praying that the next year I would either be here or be sending my message as the President-elect of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Please, can we rise as we take the second stanza of the national anthem as we close? Upgrade day 1. Day 2 will be heavy. Right? Are we together? Day 2 would be heavy. So I told you tomorrow we'll have Sound Sultan, you have Wolia Role, you have for Lawrence Alakija, and you have Nia Desire at the Ozone. Not here. It's going to be at the Ozone Cinemas. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Upgrade was powered by the church. It's powered by the church that I'm privileged to oversee called Eden Center. So we'll meet there tomorrow. It's going to be a great time. We believe in the new Nigeria. And it's not coincidence that this is coming up. So we're going to take the second stanza of the national anthem, and then we close. You can get materials so we can chill and take our food, take our drinks, get the materials. Fela's material is available at the end of, you see that material?
And as many people as want to join us on this journey that we're embarking on towards February next year, if you'd like to be a part of this, there is a role for you to play. All you have to do is just sign up on www.feladurotoye.net. That's network of feladurotoye.net/teamfd. Teamfd. www.feladurotoye.net/teamfd. And if you come, we need your heart, we need your hands, we need your head, your ideas, we need everything that you have so that we can be able to deliver good governance next year for this new nation. Thank you.
So we'll take the second stanza.
O God of creation, direct our noble cause and guide our leaders right. Help our youths the truth to know. In love and honesty to grow and live in just and truth. Great lofty heights attain to view the nation with peace and justice shall reign.
Thank you, everyone. See you at Upgrade 2019.
All right. So we'll see you Upgrade next week, tomorrow, and next year, 2019. Right. Announcement. So Fela Durotoye is a